all of this stuff we're talking about, Brandy, Jacob, any of Beato, all of it, the Cameron Croton Petty interview that you showed me the other day, where he's just like, what is going on?
What
all of
were
this
you
stuff,
doing when you wrote The Waiting?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then Tom Petty in that one laps it up. It's like a big fucking bowl of milk, and he's just lapping it up, playing G. I was just working on I was working on kind of just a little melody. And I had that for a week,
and I go away for a week, and then I come back, play that again for a couple hours, go have dinner. Come back, then after about 2 weeks, I got the waiting is the hardest part. One more yard. You take it on faith.
And then he gets into it a bit, starts feeling himself, because it's a great chorus.
Like,
can't blame him.
Yeah.
And then he's like, and then I had that for another 2 weeks, man. Groovy, man.
And Mike came
I drove to Gainesville and had an orange and came back. Mike came over.
After a couple months, had a song,
He just got called up. I heard Jimmy, and he came over and we put it down.
Made
on
the
tape.
record, that's it. Number one hit. Yeah.
Again, don't bore us, get to the chorus.
Don't have to live like a refugee, The song just means exactly what it says, You don't have to. If you don't want to, you don't have to.
Mike came over, he had his Chuck Berry thing, and we were like, why don't you do it with two? You do it with 2 strings instead of 1 string.
Yeah, a lot of people think it's a 12-string. It's not, man. It's not. It's actually 2 guitars.
You are witnessing genius in motion. But all of this stuff is just people finding. It's like when you're. It's the same feeling as like you're at home. We all do it. You're kind of procrastinating, and you're like, you know what? Instead of writing this song, I'll write a better song if I go out and buy some new jeans today. That's going to help me write the song.
Online shopping, more
This is just extreme sports versions of that. People being like, before I write a song, I've got to make sure I have perfect pitch. Before I write a song, I need to make sure I can modulate, like in microtones, a Simon and Garfunkel song. And then suddenly other people who don't know how to write songs. It's not about don't know, because it's not about knowing. It's just about purely about the fear of actually expressing yourself, the fear of trying, because that's all it is.
Yeah,
the fear of trying to do it, taking you down some dark path, and you end up somehow you wake up one morning in your 30s and you're like, wait a minute, I just spent the last 10 years like playing Simon and Garfunkel songs in 13/8.
Yeah.
And riding my scooter, A442 scooter.
Yeah, it's hard.
Sleeping under my bed, sleeping under my studio. I've been pimped out by the YouTube to have to do this for 15 years.
It's crazy, hey. That's a really good point. It's crazy that some people, and I'm not even saying like we've both fallen victim to this, I'm sure.
Oh, yeah.
Like I definitely like have been like so far removed from songwriting that I've been like, hey, you know what? Maybe I'll just like finish this crazy house project that'll take me 3 months, and then I'll start writing songs. The things that you will do to avoid trying.
Oh, yeah.
Like it's crazy. And to think that people with on the music side of it will get so into gear and the technical stuff to just hide. It's like, I'm going to figure out
rather than sitting with themselves.
Yeah, exactly. And like, or I'm going to figure out how to play guitar so fast, like Malmsteen, for like years, rather than try to actually like say something that might hit me a little too deep, Exactly. Yeah. Or fear of failure, or it's the fear of failure, of like not being able to. Yeah,
because you can't really fail in a technical world, like if you're like, because it's math. So it's like tautological. Well, it's also tautological because it's like what he's saying can't be refuted. It's just facts or something. Yeah. It's not like it's not subjective. You can't say like, I like disagree with your like opinion on. You can't say I disagree with 13/8 for Bridge Over Troubled Water. It's just an exercise in algebra or something.
I'll go with this one. This might be a stretch. But it's almost kind of like you can, if you are not like, if you're an asshole and not a charming person who people like, and you just go to the gym every day to work out, but then that's not going to make people like you, you know, or something like that. It's sort of like, it's kind of like that's a way you can win. As long as you keep working out and doing the thing, you will notice the changes. You'll get, quote unquote, better and better. Your body will get better. Mm-hmm. But that doesn't necessarily mean that you're going to make some girl fall in love with you or something like that.
Also, it doesn't mean you'll be able to look at yourself in the mirror, really, when it comes down to it. You know, you might be able to look at your muscles.
Yeah.
But I don't know if you're going to be able to look at your soul in the mirror.
Exactly. And say, everyone, all this is the same thing, the fear of looking within. Yeah. You know, like just, it's easy to look at the fingerboard, work on the muscles.
Yep.
But, you know, it's harder to go deep, man.
I went to, I called you
anyone
about
can do anyone can do the Simon and Garfunkel, can break that song down.
Yeah.
And like, you know, if you spent enough time like over analyzing it, changing it, doing all these things, it's so obvious what he's doing. Yeah. But like, imagine
he can just
Paul
do it
Simon
quicker. He can just do it quicker than people. That's like, he's just a speed. It's like speed. Elite athletics.
Exactly. But imagine being Paul Simon sitting and writing that, you know, like such an intense song, you know? Yeah.
It's just weird he didn't originally write it in 13/8.
Yeah, it is weird.
With like 400 tuned harmonies. It's just like building it's like those Instagram videos of people who build like massive domino like setups.
Yeah.
Like the world's biggest one. It's the same thing.
This is all the same thing.
It's the same thing.
Yeah. These guys who get frat boy guys who get together and like set up an elaborate thing to get like a ball to go through a bunch of things. And, and then they freak out when they get it. And the reaction shows me that they've been working on this for months or something.
And the reaction's an ersatz reaction. It's fake reaction.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. The mirror. It's the gaze, the social media gaze that is kind of, you know, just obfuscating their brain. It's rotting our brains, Johnny.
It is.
It's rotting our brains.
I couldn't believe that I agreed with Gene Simmons when he's when he said all that, you know, he kind of said this, and it's
about
like,
Flea.